if you're in a helping profession or a giver or a caregiver, to set 1 hour aside every week or sometimes even every day can be quite a big stretch. That's why I like to really think of pockets of renewal, because this allows us to fit in throughout our schedule, throughout a day, something small that can be doable. Most givers and caregivers and professionals that are helping others are very busy with helping and supporting other human beings. And therefore, we become kind of at the bottom of the list, and we do not have time. If everything has to go out of the list, it's taking care of ourselves. So today, I'm going to share with you some creative ways that you can take today to create some small pockets of renewal. And you might already know this. I might not tell you anything different, but it's nice to have them in one place to think about this. So 2 steps to create small pockets of renewal today. So instead of waiting for that weekend, which might never come, we can regenerate today. If you don't know me, I'm Dr. Ioana Popa from Team for the Soul, and I bring a unique blend of science, psychology, spiritual care, and ancient Christian faith, and I'm passionate to help you regenerate and renew on the go while you keep on giving. Why renew on the go? Because when tomorrow comes, we actually experience in our consciousness as today. So we need to regenerate today and not postpone it for later, as later might not come soon enough. The world needs you, your unique you, and I'm here to support you on your journey. Now, most people, when they want to change habits, they're like, I'm going to spend an hour, I'm going to regenerate, do all my exercises, Pilates, yoga, walking, running, eating healthy, right? And this goal and intention can last for a while, can last for a few days, or could be weeks. But eventually, as our schedule really changes as givers, we go back to our usual habits and the treadmill of life. Now, from my experience, as I've tried to regenerate and I burn out twice, when I'm working with people that trying to change habits, I mean, that's kind of like my profession for decades, helping people to change habits. I know there are actually several ways to do that. One way is that we just buckle down and we work tirelessly towards training. And in a sense, that's what athletes do. Professional trainings are like that. We get momentum and we do it. And that works beautifully. The only caveat to this is that, and I've seen that in me and in other people, whenever there's a shift, there's a change in season in life, either we change jobs or all of a sudden we become really busy, or someone at home might be sick, or our children are now in vacation, or all of a sudden they're sick and we need to be home for them. Or like COVID happened, right? And all of a sudden, as parents, you had to work and be with kids at home all in the same time. This methodology might not work because we lose the momentum. And then we start giving, and before we know it, we can get burnout and really tired and really stressed out. And I was just like that. I burned out twice. And by the second time, it really dawned on me like, no matter what vacation I take, no matter what training I take, or no matter what vocation I changed vocations quite a few times, as you can tell, probably from just reading my bio. Even after the most amazing intense programs or retreats, I very slowly came back to my stress level. And it dawned on me, I have to do things differently. Giving and helping others is more like a marathon instead of a sprint. And this requires a sustainable system to regenerate and renew. And although it is a little bit of a slower and more intentional and gentler kind of process, I find it much more sustainable because it is easy to come back to it when we get off-centered. So that's why I'm so passionate of teaching this. And I bring my entire system in my online course, the Renewal in Action. And this is really about just creating a blueprint from inside out that it's flexible, but yet sustainable. So we can maintain a daily regeneration rhythm and structure and make our rhythm sustainable. So today I want to present and help you with a way to jumpstart your renewal practice. So many times creating an hour every day to do regeneration and self-care seems a big ask. And in order to keep our own balance, we can actually be intentional and jumpstart our renewal by creating small daily pockets of self-care for something like 10 or 15 minutes at a time. And this, I found it easier to integrate in a very busy life. And at this point, you might have two questions as you hear me saying this. Well, one, how do I know? How do I know what to do in just a few minutes a day? Which activity do I choose? And how do I know what's good for me? And question number two, how do I create time to take these small steps to regenerate? I don't have time. How do I think about this? No worries, I got you covered. So here are my answers to those two questions. So step number one, if you're wondering what activities to do and how to even start discerning and how to spend your 10 to 15 minutes a day, I have a free resource for you, and you can find this below right under the video. It's called Daily Renewal Template, and it's a short template to get you started to discern those kind of activities, what to start with on a body, mind, heart, and true self or soul level. And I've included a contemplative practice which uses visualizations, and psychology uses that, and especially sports psychology. I love it. I used to coach high school athletes and use visualization practices for them to imagine their best version of themselves as they're playing. And why not using for our renewal? So there is a bonus there of contemplative practice with using visualization that you can use. And you might ask, okay, Ioana, I got this. I actually know how to renew. I know what to do if I would only have 10, 15 minutes, but I cannot find time in the day to do it. And what if there is a way? So I'm going to give you some suggestions right now on how to create this, but here's a principle. And I want to leave you with an imagery and then a saying that I heard, which I thought was so cool. The imagery I want to share with you is think of time in a day like a room, like a space. In other words, yes, we live in a continuous consciousness, right? We only have those moments that are following one after another. And in the same time, we only have 24 hours in a day. And to be more precise, if we're eating about 8 hours on average, about 16 hours of awake time. So there's so much we can cram in a day. So that's the first image. Think always at that time like as a room. And I'll give you a quick example. When we moved from a house to a Cambridge apartment, I was like, oh my goodness, such a small space. And I realized that whenever I wanted to buy something for the apartment, I actually had to get rid of something else. So with that in mind, here is what I heard Michael Hyatt say, and he's a great time organizer. Whenever we say yes to something, we actually say no to something else. And that has to do with our schedule and our planning. So it's the same principle as in a room. Like in my Cambridge apartment, if we're going to say yes to something, we got to get rid of something from our schedule. So don't think about stretching the time and putting in 10, 15 minutes as much as ask yourself, what can I either get rid of intentionally, or what other activity I can overlap my regeneration? Can I do a bundle, so to speak? So with that, let me give you some examples. Let's say you might watch shows, Netflix or whatever platform. You might know already how long you watch on average. Is there a way that you can shorten your time a bit, maybe with 10, 15 minutes? Or this could be for news or scrolling the social media. Number two, how about, is there a way to shorten your transition time? I'll give you my example. When I'm done with dinner, my transition time to the next activity, it's a little kind of like a nebulous for me. I like to linger. If you ask my husband, I like to linger after dinner and kind of aimlessly. I mean, we're not necessarily connecting or whatnot. It's just I like to linger. So I can choose to linger there, and it's not always that productive, or I can quickly get going with the dishes and then spend 10, 15 minutes reading a book or doing something, listening to music, something that really nourishes me. So that's the second possibility. Where are you lingering? Where are you wasting some time in transitions? Number 3, either is a way to overlap. So if you like listening to podcasts, can you also walk or exercise in the same time? Or if you run on a treadmill, can you do that? Or if you do the dishes, can you listen to the podcast, right? You can do a task and that would free you up for something else. But at least you also enrich yourself and nourish yourself. Maybe you notice that you have a hard time getting to bed right on time and you're wasting some time. It helps to make an effort to go to bed on time, to wake up a little early, and then do your renewal and regeneration. So those are just a few tips on how to think about removing some time or cutting down 10, 15 minutes out of your schedule. And in the end, this is all about having choices, that you empower yourself, we empower ourselves to notice that we do have sometimes choices, and we think actively that we have to remove something from our schedule for 10, 15 minutes. And then we can choose to do something that we really, really want and we really love and enjoy. And we want to remember what Michael Hyatt said. I don't know if he said it himself or quoted someone else, but whenever we say yes to something, we say no to something else. And here's the good news. If nothing comes to mind right now, like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't even know what to cut. Don't worry about it. Kind of keep it in the back of your mind. And in time, go through the next few days, a week, and just kind of gently noticing and observing yourself and ask yourself, where am I lingering? How about my transition times? How about when I'm asking for that repeat and do I need to put a timer to watch the shows that I want to watch, or for newspaper, if you do use newspaper or news online, or scroll on social media? Where can I be creative and really find those pockets of renewal? All right, so with that, I'll leave you to summarize, right? The pockets of daily renewal. If you're really busy and active, or if you're just longing to stay on a ground, feeling grounded every day, number 1, decide which activities to implement to renew. Make a list every week, 4 or 5 lists about how to regenerate and renew. And if you're in my Facebook group, Daily Renewal to Keep on Giving, I give prompts about this every week. Or if you want to go and download the template, that will walk you through the PDF and the contemplative practice, the Daily Renewal template. And number 2, find a way to cut down 10, 15 minutes that are not as helpful to you. They're neither nor productive, nor actually help you to regenerate fully, and replace them with something that you really enjoy and you can't wait to do that activity or those activities. So have fun regenerating and renewing on a daily basis so that you can keep on giving and help others on their journey, because the world needs more of you, a fulfilled and joyful you. I'm here to support you if you have any questions. And until next time, I say goodbye for now.